channel. It has been a minute since I have stood in front of a camera or sat in front of a camera and talked to you guys, but I am back. Work has just kind of settled and we're out for summer. If you guys don't know, I am a speech pathologist at a local elementary school and all of the kids are out for summer, so I'm off now, and hopefully that means I can bring you more consistent content. And I've also had some health things going on, and I wanted to say thank you so much to all of you guys who have sent me so many sweet and kind messages. I am doing well, everything is good, and I'm just excited to be back. I have missed doing this. I love just sharing things that I love in my personal life with you guys. And so to jump back into things, I'm going to be starting off with a flower video. I'm going to be sharing with you all of my tips and tricks on buying flowers that are faux, that look realistic. So we are in the height of spring. We're moving into summer here in Mississippi. It is hot. It is so hot, but it's my favorite time of year. I go outside and there's so many flowers, so many beautiful blooms. And let's be honest, nothing beats a real flower. Nothing beats a real bloom, one that you can smell. I just think that, you know, there's nothing like it, and it's my favorite. It's my favorite to go out into the garden and pick flowers, or even just wildflowers that grow in the yard and in the fields behind our house. But I also know that not everybody has access to blooms outside, and it can get expensive if you are going to the grocery store, you know, every week or so and purchasing a bouquet. So I'm going to be sharing with you my tips and tricks on what I look for when I'm purchasing faux florals and where I get them and the kind of discounts that I get. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button down below. On this channel, I share everything from gardening and homemaking tasks and DIY projects and renovation projects. We've been working on our house, and I've got some fun content coming up for you guys. So hit that subscribe button if you aren't subscribed, and if you are, please hit that like button if you like these types of videos, and also comment down below some content that you want to see from me this summer. I've got quite a few videos just floating around, ideas that I think I want to do, but I would love to hear what you guys want to see. I want to put out things that you would love to watch. So let's go ahead and get into my tips and tricks. The very first tip that I have for you is to know what grows in your area. Know what zone you are in. I am in zone 7. And the reason this is important is because if you're wanting realistic flowers, you're going to want to pick out flowers that you know grow in your area. For example, I know that in my zone, tropical florals do not grow well here. They are not frost hardy. They do not survive the winter in my zone. And so if I go to Hobby Lobby and I pick up a bunch of tropical florals, more than likely my friends and family who come over are going to know that those are not real flowers. And so let's figure out what kind of flowers grow in your area, and, you know, stick with that list, stick with those types of flowers. And you can also check out your local nurseries if you want to see what they grow. You can ask gardeners in your area. I know we have so many people in Mississippi who garden and have farms, and you can also just go on a walk and look at people's garden beds and see what's growing in their garden beds and get some ideas from that as well. Tip number 2 is a super simple one, and that is just stick with a natural color when it comes to your flower. So, you know, I have never seen a pink or a purple sunflower growing out in a field before. I'm sure somewhere in the world they probably have that, but when you go to Hobby Lobby or Joann's or Michael's, it's so easy to pick up every shade of any type of flower that you can imagine. But if you're wanting it to be realistic, I suggest just sticking with a natural color that, you know, whatever flower type you're picking out produces in your area. And so kind of goes back with tip 1, know what grows in your area. Tip number 3 is look for silk flowers or real touch. These I recently picked up from Hobby Lobby, and I don't know if you can see, but they have almost like a velvet layer on the leaves and the stem. Usually they may be a little bit more expensive than some of the other ones that you can find, but if you can afford a feel real branch, I would highly suggest that. I think I grabbed these for $3 a piece and I absolutely love them. I think they're just stunning and I think they're so sweet, especially in a little bud vase. And I will try to link them down below for you guys if you're interested in picking out these specific stems. All right, tip number 4 goes along with tip number 3. If you, like I said in tip number 3, if you can afford Real Touch or Feel Real petals, silk flowers, I highly suggest going with that. But if not, I have some other qualities that I will share with you that I like to look for to give me the most realistic appearance. So I have 2 more stems here. Both are from Hobby Lobby. Both of these are not silk, they're not Real Touch, but they do have realistic qualities. And so the very first thing, let me set this one down, that I look for is a realistic stem. And so certain things that I'm looking for are nodes, are bumps and blooms. And for example, on this one, you will see the buds like it's growing more stems off of it, and there's just a really nice rough texture, and it looks like you just snip this from outside. Another thing that I look for is color variation. So in this stem we have different shades of green running throughout the stem. So it's a little bit darker down here, lighter up and through here, and then it gets darker again, and that just gives it a more, natural appearance. And then the last characteristic that I tend to look for on blooms of sorts is a leaf pattern. So for example, you don't want a floral stem that has perfect leaves down the stem. And this one I fell in love with specifically for this branch. Whenever you're looking at hydrangea bushes, you tend to see some sort of stem coming off of the bloom, and I just love the way that this look, the just little touch that it gave to make it look more real. And the leaves are not perfectly in line, and it also has these little blooms up top to make it look like it's growing more leaves. And then the petals, even though they are not Real Touch, they also have color variation in the centers. So the last tip that I have for you guys are just some simple things to stay away from and things I like to avoid. The first thing is anything that's overly waxy outside of petals. So these petals are waxy, but they are Real Touch. But like leaves, you're not gonna want waxy green leaves. Stems, you don't want anything that's too shiny. And then, so if you are picking out things that are fabric that are not silk or any type of, Real Touch material, you're going to want to stay away from and watch out for fabric that's tethered, strings that are coming out, glue. You will find that a lot of florals will have like string glue stuck to them from where they've been glued to the stem, and you're going to want to really watch out for that. You're going to want all of your petals and leaves to have nice clean lines and not have any type of fraying around the edge. And so sometimes it takes a little bit to fully inspect your stems, but it's well worth it if you're wanting a realistic look. So that is all that I have for you. I am going to give you a couple of short little tips for styling these. I usually don't stick with many big blooms. I normally stick with smaller blooms or just little flowers like Queen Anne's lace, daisies, things that look like you could have just went out into a meadow and picked them. But whenever I do blooms of any sorts, I do like a lot of greenery and filler. I will link some boxwood filler that I recently picked up from Joann that Andrea from Piney Prospect Home recommended. I picked up some of those and I absolutely love them, and I have them all around my house. I have them in a basket. You can't see it, but it's on top of my fridge. They look so real and they're so full, which is really nice. And then also when you do pick up floral stems, most of the time, like for example these, they were smushed when I first got them and they come stick straight, and obviously that's not going to give you a real look. You're not going to find them growing outside stick straight. And so I do spend time bending, fluffing, especially because these have multiple stems, so I bend them out and, you know, just give them a little bit more fullness and spacing between them as if you would find it outdoors. And so those are some tips and tricks. I love styling in crocks. I love styling in baskets, anything that just gives a cozy, cottagey feel, country, rustic style. And so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, like I said earlier, please give it a thumbs up, and also comment down below if you like these styles of videos where I share tips and tricks, and what are some things that you want to see. I want to hear about some content that you guys want to watch, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye friends.